the afternoon talk, the round table talk, but we're gonna do it in a different way. And because we've got this filly that we're gonna try to help. She's okay, or he's okay, whatever it is okay. What we're gonna do a little differently is we've got this filly that we started this morning, and
hey, Anastasia.
Cliff's gonna get her ready.
Hobbles.
I'm gonna saddle her. And actually, Anastasia is okay.
Do you want a sideline or front hobbles? Or?
No, I was just gonna say my belt, my pants on the floor over there. Our pair of hobbles.
Right
what we're gonna do a little differently is we started this filly. We're gonna do some stuff here. Cliff's gonna get her ready. I'm gonna saddle her, and once I get on and we kind of go around the pen a couple of times, and everything's kosher, and we're hoping everything's gonna be kosher. We know it is because we know how to do this. Then we'll start the roundtable conversation, and that's when I want people to start asking questions, either about what Cliff's doing, what I'm doing, what we're doing here, what we're doing there, about the price of tea in Vietnam. I don't care. That's how these conversations are supposed to work. I want everybody to be part of it. If at any point in time, either Cliff or I don't feel like we're doing our best work for the horse, and this conversation is going to go on longer than the ride is. But if at any point Cliff or I don't feel like this is what we're doing best for the horse, I'll just step off, and we can keep the conversation going. I can keep talking. I can get away from a horse, but that's where we're going with her. Cliff, we got the hobbles.
Yep.
You want to hobble her?
Yep.
Okay.
Go ahead. I hobbled her yesterday for the first time. She's pretty good about it.
All right. So here's a cool deal about hobbling. I think everything in the world needs to be hobbled. Mm-hmm. They need to know how to be hobbled. Whether you actually do hobble them or not, they all need to know how. And we did this at Trey's. We hobbled that filly.
Yep.
We taught her to get hobble broke, and that was a morning deal. And then we went and put her in a stall, and it was kind of a stall situation like this. And while everybody was gone, then she got tangled up in the stall.
Yep. Put her foot through a bucket.
Got her foot tangled up, and was there for a while before anybody figured it out. But it was
right after we hobbled her.
The 2 hours before we had hobbled her, she learned to not hurt herself. So I think hobbling is really important, and sometimes it's a little ugly, and that's where people are scared of this.
Yeah.
And I think hobbling.
Now I prepared her pretty good yesterday. I had a foot rope on her, and I got her to lead by her feet and really give up her feet. And I'm a firm believer that if you soften their feet, you soften their body and you soften their brain.
Man, she's shod. Mm-hmm. You got her really soft in the feet.
Yep.
See how she's just holding? I just picked it up to move it. And look at this. This has been 30, 40 seconds. She's still holding it.
I'll show you at some point.
Before we let her up, I'm not even going to stand up yet, because I don't want to let her know that she's away from me yet. You see I've got her hobbled up here instead of down here. This is where you don't hurt them. You want to hobble them up here. You get them hobbled down here.
That's more power.
There's a lot of tendons. There's a lot of stuff going on down here. Up here, you can't hurt them very bad. You see how I got her closer? And I've actually got her just a little too close. But we're going to go with it. I've got her feet closer than where she wanted to stand naturally. Naturally, she wanted to stand here. That's where she feels real square and real framey. I don't want her to stand here because then she can shuffle her feet and kind of move around. What I also don't want to do, and I did this for a long time, I also don't want her to stand there because there's where they start panicking.
Stepping on themselves.
So I want 6 or 8 inches. Cliff, do you remember Reckless Kelly, Crazy Eddie's Last Hurrah?
Yep.
Now I'm lying on the floor feeling dirty and unholy, but I'm never getting over Jolie. Yeah. I'm not sure why Hobbling this mare made me think of that.
We were singing it last night.
Oh, is that why?
Dan was playing it and you and I were singing it.
Oh.
Remember?
No, I don't know. So we've got her hobbled. Cliff's already prepared her. He handed me the lead rope. And I still haven't told her that she's got her own deal going here. I still haven't told her, and I'm gonna wait a minute, and you see I keep touching her, I keep playing with her, I keep petting her, and so she's staying with me. In just a second here, I'm gonna turn her loose on herself, and I'm gonna make her have to deal with the world all by herself. I'm just gonna give it away to her. But I want her to be calm. If she wasn't calm and quiet, I would do this differently. But she's wanting to be calm, she's wanting to be quiet. And so right now I'm gonna say, now it's your world, I just live in it. I still hold on to her. This is something we've talked about before when we've talked about hobbling horses. There was a time when I would just hobble horses and just walk off. And if there was a wreck, I just watched it. I didn't care. Anymore, I try to stay here. I still can't help if there's a wreck. And that's the reason I used to just walk away from it, because there's nothing I could do about it. If she wants to go get in a wreck, I really can't help her very much. I'm 160 pounds, she's 800 pounds.
I think she's bigger than that.
She might be 1,000 pounds.
She's a lot bigger than that.
Okay.
We don't always agree.
We don't always agree.
We agree to disagree.
Anyway, but she's bigger, faster, stronger than I am. We can agree on that, can't we? Thank you. I have hair.
I sure don't.
She's bigger, faster, stronger than me, so there's really nothing I can do if she wants to panic and get in a wreck. There's not much I can do. Cliff's here on his horse. There's some stuff he can do to an extent. But the reason I don't just walk away anymore like I did when I was in my 20s is because she's getting a bunch of emotional support off of me. And so she's gonna want to come to me, I think. And she says, I can't. I already proved to myself my feet are tied together. But where she first figured it out, she did her little hoppity skippity deal. She was just going, oh, whoop, oh, geez, my feet are tied together. She tried to come to me, her feet are tied together. And I just stood here to just be here for her. Yeah.
I mean, this is kind of an ideal environment for hobbling a horse.
This is a totally ideal environment. That's why we did it.
I think that's kind of important too. People don't realize you don't just hobble one out in the pasture or in the driveway and hopefully without me.
Okay. Did everybody kind of hear what Ricky said there about this being an ideal environment, and this is why we do it here?
Harold, I want to show you something and see what you think of it. It's something I just started playing with. So,
I'll get back to you.
Yeah, no worries.
like I said, I think yesterday or earlier today, to me everything is an experiment with horses. There's no There's no one way, and each horse is different, so we have to draw from our tools and things like that. But one of the things I've been playing with my hobbled horses is a lot of people kind of, you know, when they're showing them they're hobbled, you see a lot of people kind of take the front end and they want to kind of pull them over and then whoa. But like what I've started doing is I want to.
And to me, let me interrupt you for just a second there. Because to me, what you just said, what a lot of people want to do is pull them around and show them they're hobbled. Well, to me, that's rude.
Yeah.
That is the same as.
Yeah.
I know Cliff and I have been arrested. I don't know if anybody else here has been arrested. But that's the same as cuffing him behind his back and then pushing him over and saying, you can't stop yourself, dude.
Yep.
So to me, it's rude. I used to do it, but I changed my mind.
Where my mindset went on that is I started thinking about, well, they still have freedom of the hind feet, so I want to show them that they can still balance and rebalance themselves by adjusting with the hind quarters instead of fighting the front quarters to keep their balance, you know, if they move or if they get a little bit out of balance. So I'll come here and I'll just tip her nose, and all I want to do is I just want to wait on that hind, and I want to see her step that hind foot over, because that allows her to explore the range of motion in the front feet without pulling her off balance. Then I'll come over here and I'll just say, can you put that foot back? Can you step it over a little bit further? And I'll walk way out around here. I'm not looking to get her in a jackpot. See, she wants to leave with the shoulder there, but I'm just going to wait a second. I'm going to look. This is a harder side for her. As we saw earlier today, she's a little heavier on her left because that's where there. So just that step, see the lick and the chew that came through there? Big, big lick and chew, blinking her eyes. To us, that's one stupid little step. To her, that confirms that she's not trapped. It confirms that she can still keep her balance. Most important thing to a horse, to most animals in general, is their balance. If you fall down today, you're wolf shit tomorrow.
Right.
It's just what it comes down to. And so, you know, from a wild perspective, so I just want to tell her, show her, look, you can soften your neck, you can follow the feel here, and you can step over. And notice those movements are not causing any distress from the front end. So that was just just something
and that's a beautiful thing, and I want to take it one step further. You go ahead and hang on to her for me. We started those couple of colts for Charlie.
Yep.
And
he said hello.
In Ocala.
Yeah, he was asking for her.
Good. Tell him when I said hello. They were a couple of warm bloods. They were a little tough to be around. They were fine.
They're just rude.
It wasn't that big of a deal. They were kind of rude. But one of the first things we did was hobble them. And Charlie was a little bit, he wanted us to, but he was a little bit funny about it. And so one of the things that I want to point out is the exact same thing that you're talking about. So you guys see how she's standing right here? So she's unsquare right here. So before I do anything, I'm going to square her up. And she says, I don't like that very good.
It's all right.
That's all right.
What she's doing there when she hops, there's nothing wrong with that. Like it's controlled. She's not mad. She's not trying to get away. That's just what she feels like. She hasn't learned that she can shuffle her feet a little bit.
Right.
Yeah. Like the way Chick will tiptoe around.
And so what Cliff is talking about, moving around, moving those hips around, this is something it's an idea I've been toying around with for a long time, and I just want to show a more base way of doing it.
Yep.
You know, because what you're doing looks like magic.
Yeah.
I know how it works, but it looks like magic. And so here's something that I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, I started doing. The same idea is showing them that they still got all their feet. Is just showing her. You've still got that foot. And she goes, oh, okay. You guys couldn't hear it. Cliff and I could both hear it. And then she licked her lips. She made a big sigh when I just said, hey, that foot's still good. She made a big old sigh, and then and this isn't something, this is a nice mare. This isn't something you would necessarily do with anything. I'm not gonna hobble something and just stick my head down here and let him kick me. But I know I can get away with it with her. But it's something to show her that her feet are okay. and just show her. And she says, okay. And that's all I need. I don't need to put that foot anywhere. I just need to get that give. And that's what I just did is the exact same thing that Cliff just did. It's just, he made it look like magic. And I just did a Penn and Teller deal. I just showed you how the magic worked. So for the sake of that, Cliff, show us the magic trick again, and then I'll show you guys how it works.
So I'm just going to take her nose enough to tip the weight to the outside on her hip.
And tap's not helping
and I'm
much.
just going to, me too, buddy.
Is that the same way you'll put the pressure when you put when you run your rope around the saddle either earlier or whatever on their butt, you don't pull on it.
You let her find it.
You let them find
I'm just gonna minutely up my intent. That's all it is intent there.
Yeah, and so I want to keep going with what you just said, but to build on what we're saying here, he used his intent and just showed her where he wanted to put her hips. Now I'm doing this the dumb way, the not a magic trick way, but it's the same thing, and I'm just saying
Manual versus automatic.
I'm just saying, hey, that foot's still free. So what you just said about pulling the rope around the back of their saddle or anything like that, let's take that one step more. I've got to get on her back.
Yeah.
And so what Cliff just did is what I'm going to try to do while I'm on her. And
that's with me turning over here too.
exactly. Precisely.
Instead of pulling her, I need to use the intent of getting that cow in my body so she follows through instead of making her do it.
And here's why. What I was telling you about with the flag, I said I want you to go get the flag. Yeah. So what Cliff was doing is Cliff was saying, I want you to honor me where my body is. So now when I'm on her,
she's very calm.
He does that every time. He goes and hugs him under the neck. Remember he was doing that?
Yes, I do. Silly old thing. When I get on her back, then I need her to honor my body and honor I want her to do exactly what Cliff just did. And so then when you fast forward that another couple of years and we're working a flag or working a cow or the way Tap works this horse, I always want to call him Tip.
I've got it. That's Tap.
I know. I always want to call him Tip.
Oh, that's my dog. So here's the thing to understand intent. How many ladies here can tell when a guy is checking out their boobs?
Oh, it's instantaneous.
Right? You can feel it from across the room even. That's intent. But that's how strong intent can be, and how if we can utilize that and harness a little more intent and offer intent as even a pre-signal before we go to the signal, it changes a lot of things. Right?
Great way to put it, yeah.
Yeah, and it can be just the eyes too.
Yes.
Well, it's all, yeah.
Well, I mean, that intent can
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're talking to someone and they're like looking at your mouth, you're like, there's something there. You can feel that the intent. You can feel their thoughts about what's there.
And that will also translate to everything else you do in horsemanship. You want to do it with intent, not make that.
It's all exactly.
Yeah.
It's all about intent.
Not just this or turning or it's just.
But that's why when I open a rein, without pulling on it, I open and I give the horse somewhere to go. That's putting intent out there. The intent is for him to follow that. Then I start to close the door with my legs with my opposite rein. But I'll wait. He might keep going straight. We might get to the fence and he might turn. He accidentally turned and followed my intent. I can reward that, and next time he might follow my intent.
Yeah, you just wait it out.
Right.
So let's actually, I'm going to do something that I never ever do. If you're not comfortable with this, you tell me.
Do whatever you want.
But since we're talking about intent, what I never ever do is first of all, I never get on horses when they're hobbled, and then I don't ride bareback. That's why the Indians lost the war.
Porn stars and children.
I hate you sometimes.
It's because they're the same.
But I want to show the intent And I'm gonna have Cliff give me a leg because I'm old and fat and I can't get on that big of a mare, bareback. I'm gonna have Cliff give me a leg, and I'm probably not gonna get on her all the way. But our intent is, we want you to just stand here and be quiet. And so we can use our intent, and we can think about this, and just, she'll let me. Told you I'm not good about bareback. And see, it kind of scared her. Where her ears went back there is because it kind of scared me. As soon as I got up here and I was on, I got my legs wrapped around her, I calmed down, she calmed down. There's where the intent comes from. I'm not suggesting anybody ever do this. Getting on one hobbled is dangerous. I'm not all about riding bareback. But now that I've calmed down, she's calmed down. Everything's cool. I can feel her heartbeat. We're quiet. So that's how intent works. Let's saddle her and ride her.
What's that?
Hello, what's your name?
Gunther, it's okay.
We don't shake? Shake. Or not. That's fine.
Well, a lot of times when we're cowboying, we're in
does.
situations where we've
He's
got to
kinda
secure
scary
our
looking.
horse so we don't have to walk 40 miles home. So a lot of these range situations, there's nowhere to tie them.
Yeah.
So hobbles, number one, it's
I know
a
you and I are.
restraint. It keeps the horse where it's close to where it's
Watch
supposed to
that,
be.
can we?
Number two, it's preparation for
Should I
not
kill
if,
you
but
for
when the
being
horse
friends with me?
puts his foot where it doesn't belong at some point, because they all do.
Alright.
They put it in a fence, they put it in a bucket.
Pigs
And I've seen far too many horses ruined, legs degloved, legs broken,
Happens.
everything else, that a 10-minute hobble session can change all of. In fact, I had a lady, I tell us at most of the clinics, I had a lady send me a big, nice horse that she imported from Europe, big money horse. I think he had two, he was like 100,000. He comes here, she gets pregnant, she says, will you take him for like 5 or 6 months? She goes, you do everything in your program. She goes, don't
Did you
hobble.
get pregnant?
But no. It's a lady that I wrote yeah. It wasn't me.
It's one of my favorite stories.
Yeah, it's awesome. And she's great. She hosts me for clinics. She knows my program. And she said, I want you over everybody to take my horse for the next 6 months. I can't ride. She goes, but do me a favor, don't hobble him. She goes, I'm not comfortable with it.
This is a great story.
And she goes, I don't feel good about it. He's too expensive. I said, all right, I won't hobble. Then she called me back. She said, you know what? I wouldn't want somebody telling me what to do and not to do in my program. And she goes, I trust you, so go ahead, you hobble him. I hobble him, and he pawed a lot. He did a lot. He was very handsy with his feet, you know. And he got, like, he'd put his feet all over. Like, he'd paw. He'd put it up on the fence. So fast forward, he gets hobbled every day. Everything's cool. He goes home. 6 months, maybe more later, maybe a year later, she calls me, and I saw I got a text, and I didn't even open it. I answered the call, and she goes, watch the video I just sent you. You saved my horse's life. And she's crying. She is sobbing. I watched the video, and there's him and his buddy grazing. What?
I know.
You don't want to take that one in case she grabs herself with the hobbles.
I was going to explain how that all worked, but I was waiting for you to finish the story.
So anyhow, you see these horses, something spooks them. They go running down the hill, and they hit the mud puddle by the gate, and this horse sits down like a reiner, and he is 18 hands of big, black, powerful warm blood. And he hit the gate first, a big panel gate like that. The gate folded up around him, and when he got up, his front legs were trapped in the gate. The gate was smushed around his legs. I mean, so bad they had to cut it off with a Sawzall. The other horse jumped over the panel, past him, ran off, left him. They had a security video. That horse stood out there for 5 minutes before anyone knew what was going on. 5 minutes is a long time, long enough to wreck one, ruin one, kill it. He stood there, and every now and then he'd shift and he'd swing his hips just like she did, back and forth. He moved the panel a little bit and then stood there. They went and he stood there while they cut him out and everything. And that lady, bawling on the phone. She goes, I will never tell somebody what not to do on something like that. She goes, it saved my horse. She bought hobbles that day, hobbled everything in her barn.
And then she personally told me that story before you did.
Yep.
I was hobbling something and she came to me, she got me off the side and she said, let me tell you about my friend Cliff. And I was like, oh yeah, your friend Cliff. and told me all about that, told me that entire story. And it was, we never even mentioned
She doesn't know
He
she's
just happened
on
to tell the story
there.
later. And I said, yeah, I talked to her. She told me about that. Who said something about the fact that I unhobbled her before I was done cinching her? Okay. Can you tell me why I did that?
If she flew up, you didn't want her to grab that rear section of hind legs.
I didn't want her to run her hind leg through her hobbles.
Right.
And so when we add that back cinch, we increase the chance that something's going to happen. We're going to have some kind of a reaction. So I always, when I hobble a horse or when I saddle a horse that's hobbled, I always do the front cinch and I get it tight, I get it the way I want it. And then before I put the back cinch in, I give them their feet back. So if they get tight and want to run backwards, if they get tight and want to jump, if they get tight and want to buck, whatever happens, I've taken that danger away. They can get, I'm in a round pen. I don't care if they get away. You know, that may suck for me and it may create more work for me. I don't want to get them hurt. And then I'll point out one more thing. I don't know if anybody noticed this. I unhobbled her and then I picked up her foot and showed her. And she did. She licked and chewed and she sighed. And again, from the outside looking in, this is something you guys couldn't know, but my ear was right against her heart girth. I could hear her heart slow down when I picked that foot up and moved it. So she didn't look nervous. I knew she was nervous. You knew she was nervous. Tap knew she was nervous. Tap doesn't care.
Tap didn't care.
But I picked that foot up and moved it and she went, oh, okay, good, I'm free. I'm got my handcuffs off. And so that's why I do it. To me, it's just a politeness thing. I've had so many horses that were as broke as him that I've hobbled and went to lunch or done whatever, and then unhobbled them and forgot to tell them that they were unhobbled, and they're like, you go to lead them off, and they're like, no boss, I'm here. And so to me, it's just a politeness issue. She's so ready.
One question. Cliff said, he said one session of 10 minutes of hobbling is enough.
They'll remember it. I mean, more is better, but like I have seen them where they got hobbled at my clinic maybe once or twice.
And
they go home,
5
they
years
never got
later.
hobbled again, and months later I get a lot of calls, people telling me their horse got a foot in a wire, this and that, and some of them it was once or twice being hobbled. And like it changes how they are for the farrier, it changes everything.
What you just did.
Yeah.
You put them on.
I prepared her yesterday. Like I hobbled her for the first time yesterday, and I prepared her. And
We
she
can
was,
actually do some
Feet by the foot first.
because she's not gonna be able to take much riding.
Yep.
So we can
When we get done, I'll
we can
show-
do a little
yeah.
foot prep.
Yeah, I can show you guys what I do when we get done.
It's super easy, and we kind of do it differently.
Yep.
But it's the same idea.
I feel like with Olive, so like she was hobbled when she was younger, and I kind of avoided it because she's so like with my horse, like if you, let's say you're walking her and you jerk on that, like not intentionally but you by accident jerked on that on the lead line, she'll go flying backwards. Or like if
Hobbling will help all that. It'll
and,
ground
like,
her.
I know for myself, like my last clinic with Brett, we hobbled, and I was a little bit like I told her.
That's right. Yeah, you kind of freaked out about it.
Yeah, I'm like she's so like when
and we went and ate
after
lunch,
when she gets
and I
fat,
said, "No, hobble her,
she
leave her
gets,
alone."
Like I thought like she was going to literally try to kill herself. And since that clinic, I've been hobbling her like in the middle of the yard, or I get off near in the arena, I hobble her and I go get another horse or whatever. and that has helped her so much. And I know this is something like Cliff always not stressed me about, like, but he always told me about hobbling horses. And I always felt like, what if something happens?
Yeah.
And I finally like got over that part, and I started doing it, and I've seen such a big difference, especially with my horse, and the pressure, not just like what you're doing here, but in her life.
I look at it this way. You have two choices. You can run the risk that your horse sticks his foot somewhere it doesn't belong, and you're not there while he tears himself apart, which I wish on nobody, but it's a horrible feeling when you come and find one, your good horse, and his leg is degloved, and you just see white cannon bone, and it's horrible.
And the other 17 studs in the pen date raped him to death.
Yep. And or you can hobble your horse, and things might not go pretty. They might fall down. They might.
And they do knock some DNA off once in a while.
But you're there to support them. You're there if you need to. You can get them off. You can rescue them. You can help them. You can keep them out of trouble. You can take your time. You can rope their feet for a week and then put your hobbles on. I don't. I do it for 10 minutes, but there's no rule to it. But I promise you, you get them good with their feet like that. It changes It changed so much for this mare.
It changes her brain.
So you didn't do any prep work with, like you said?
Not today, because I trusted my work from yesterday. Yes.
I mean,
Yep.
roping the legs. Did you do any of that before you put a hobble?
Yep. And we'll show you when we get done. We're going to ride her first because we don't want to.
We'll show you what he did, and then I'm going to take it one further, because I hobble all my horses. I hobble their front legs. I do a side to side, and then I hobble everything's back legs. And he's never had his back legs hobbled, right?
Do it.
I know we can do it.
Yeah.
And I've done stuff that's not as broke as him, but we'll hobble his hind legs, and then you guys can watch the learning process. And it's probably not going to be very dynamic, because he's probably going to go, darn it, this is another way I'm tangled up. But we can, just to show you just how simple it can be, you can just hobble them. They're all good about it. Yep. And like Cliff said, they may fall down, they may knock a little DNA off themselves. In the end, it's a better deal for them.
Let me give you one more.
And this was a lazy colt. He was a personal horse of mine, but he'd been hobbled his whole life, and he just got kind of tangled up in some tall grass. And I was riding him, and he was like, "Nope, I'm stuck." And I was kicking on him, like, "What are you? What?" I think we were after a cow, and he's like, "Nope,
son, that mule's hobbled."
Yes, son, I believe that mule's hobbled. We talked about this morning. We call this a tres pasos de muerte. It's the 3 turns of death. And I wanted to elaborate on what this is. Cliff, you talked about how even if your horse has just been off for a little while or been out of touch. So what we're doing is we're bending them. We got stuff going over her hip. We're bending her around. She's figured this out from this morning. She says, "Oh, I'm right. I'm happy." So I learned this.
Look at how light she comes through now. It's just the weight of that lead rope going through there. And see how she licks and chews every time she comes through, because she's learned that that's the right answer, and she's learned that she's going to get a little dopamine there.
I learned this, and I learned a lot of my horsemanship from Mexicans.
The viejos.
Yep, from the viejos. And they called it the 3 passes of death, because if she is tied, if something's going to go wrong, right now is when it's going to happen, when I turn her around like that off the back of my saddle. And so that's why they call it 3 passes of death, because you're avoiding death this way. This is her tough side, and I didn't get my pull right. I didn't do that right, but I stuck with it.
Because she doesn't know it was a mistake. She just thinks that, well, this is different, but this is what we're doing.
Yep.
But if you act like it's a mistake, they'll lose faith in you.
What's the other thing you have to let go?
Let go and start again.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the 3 passes of death. The guys I learned it from, that's what they called it, but they also said, rompe el caballo.
That was a good answer.
So rompe literally means break. We're breaking the horse in half.
Okay, you know, I mean, obviously it doesn't matter.
Rompe de caballo. It means we're breaking them in two, like breaking them, bending them around.
I don't worry about much anything. I used to worry about a lot of stuff, but I've been doing this a long time, and I figured out that there's not much to worry about.
The lack of worry comes with like the development of feel. The more feel you have, and the more understanding through feel, like people say, well, why didn't you do that with this horse? I don't know. I just felt like it wasn't what it needed, or it was what it needed.
Which is why I'm giving her 4, and I'm actually probably gonna give her 5. So we already did 3, and I just don't like the way she's coming around
That
here.
left side gets pretty sticky on
She's
her.
a little sticky on that side. She wants to
What's that?
watch her when I do
My
this,
last
because
name
she's
is
gonna do it
Schadt.
at least once more.
S-C-H-A-D-T.
And I'm
Yes, ma'am.
betting twice or maybe 3
Oh,
times
I
more.
think
When I step away
Anastasia
over here, she wants to turn and look at me.
Batteries
She
for a
wants to
camera.
come to me. She wants to do right. And then she's confused because she's getting a pull the opposite way. And so that's why I'm going to do this a couple more times. I want to just show her that, hey,
He's so tired, this poor bastard. He's been on the road.
see how she wants to come to me? And then I say, no, follow that
That's
pull.
a good one.
Clinicians call this follow a feel. And that lead rope kind of gets, we're getting caught on our conchos and on this and that. I don't care. I just wait.
I'll take it one step further sometimes too, and I'll put it down just above her hocks.
Yeah.
Kind of right above her hocks there.
Around
and
their
let her
butt.
follow that. One, because it kind of prepares her, you know, we might be branding calves or something, might get a rope across there, so it's helpful for that too, but it distributes that pull a little bit differently. See there?
Like that. That kind of spooked her a little bit.
But see, she licks and chews every time
Yep.
she comes back.
So what Cliff was just talking about, what I just did, so Frank Dominguez taught me to do that.
Yep.
And he learned it from Martin Black. And their idea was, if there ever is a big enough wreck that you're under there, maybe you won't die.
Yep. Yep.
Because they've had some ropes around there, they've had some stuff going on around there. And so now she's nervous.
Yeah.
She says, you scare me when you do this. Did you guys all see her do that?
But let me add right there that, like, that's okay. They don't have to be at peace
doesn't have to
all
be
the
perfect.
time. Like, we can't lull them into a false sense of security and make it everything's so easy and so happy
See
and
her
so
turn and
Disney.
look at me. Now she says, I'm thinking about it.
They've got to learn how to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
What did you say? You said this a few months ago. You and I were, there we go. You said they have to learn how to take a joke.
Especially if they're going to pack an amateur.
And look at that. She says, well, I can just bend. Again, this isn't what I'm going for.
What's wrong with that stuff?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm cool with this.
She's still yielding.
That's not what I wanted, but she goes, okay, can I just bend? And I say, yeah, that's fine. If that's what, now I want her to go, so now I'll ask her.
There.
Oh,
What a nice boy.
and I keep bumping that stirrup
It's more
off
the
of her.
stirrup that gets her.
What's that?
More the stirrup that,
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is why I keep doing
I
it.
know, it's a good thing.
And I want that stirrup to bump her, and I want to see what happens.
Yeah.
You know, worst case scenario, that stirrup bumps her and she blows up bucks. Well, good. I'd rather be here.
You could see it now.
Yeah,
When you get older.
exactly.
You know,
That all goes back to, like, we think about what happens, like going back to worrying, like what happens with like this necklace and this
Yep.
stuff. And I think that being always worried about what's going to happen or if told so many people back. Because I feel like for me, I worry so much that it held me back to grow in my business part.
Yeah.
Wanting to learn more and wanting to be a professional in the industry. Because I've always just worried, so it held
Yeah.
me back.
So a really common theme I hear from everybody, and like it's really cool just getting to come and help out, and like, you know, I'm just here to hang out with my buddy. Like that's it. I blew off other work this weekend. I come here to hang out with my buddy and see if we can help this mare. But
You're fine.
One of the things that I think about as I listen to everybody, I kind of get to float around and hear people talk and listen to different things, is that everybody is so worried about upsetting like the status quo with their horse. Like, oh, I'm pulling on his mouth and he doesn't like it, or my mare's getting crooked, and all these things are falling apart. And we feel like, oh my God, are we going backwards and trying to do something new? Are we losing things? And like, everybody hunts for peace with their horses. But I think we need to redefine what peace is. Peace is not the absence of conflict. Peace is the acceptance of conflict. It's accepting. Peace is just knowing that like we're not gonna see eye to eye on everything. Things are gonna deteriorate at times, but we're just gonna work at it until we get it back. That's what a relationship is, right? Like, it's never perfect. It's not pretty. It's messy, but you have to accept that there will be conflict.
Amy and I have been married for 18 years, and she has liked everything I've ever done. I can promise you.
There's a flag just outside the pen right here, if someone doesn't mind handing that to me.
We did a couple things there while Cliff was talking. I did a few things. You guys might not have caught it, but I said, no, I don't need your help. I stepped on her by myself. The snap, which that day's got to come. And then I'm kind of asking her, and I'm not getting anything.
I'm just going to casually ride by here.
Hang on just 1 second. I'm kind of asking her. I'm not getting anything. And so I said, well, how about we just untrack these feet? And then I'll ask her again. So no, I need your help. So now Cliff is going to just casually ride around, and he's just going to put pressure somewhere, or she might decide, I'll just follow the tap. Tap knows the way, and that's fine too. We can go off either of those. And then Cliff's saying, no, you need to do it yourself. She says, I don't know.
It's forward motion, we'll take it.
Yeah, we're happy with forward motion. I'm gonna give you guys one. This mare is giving us a really great opportunity. There's been other times we've started colts where we didn't have the opportunity that we could just play. This mare is giving us a really good opportunity. And so now we're gonna say, nope, it's time for you to do it on your own. And that's what Cliff was trying to tell her. You can go be by yourself. And she's cool with it. She said, okay, fine. Right there, we talk about our horses getting crooked and stuff like that. She wanted to get crooked. All I did was just fix her. I don't get worried about it.
That was helpful.
Could you do me one favor? Could you scoot back about 6 inches?
Yeah.
Maybe even a foot. And so it's not the end of the world deal, like you're not gonna get me bucked off or anything like that. You're not gonna get me bucked off. But she sees you right there, and it's just kind of a weird place, so she's just avoiding it. And so is it easier for me to ask you to just scoot back a little bit, or is it easier for me to get in a fight with my horse when she's trying to figure this all out? Well, it's way easier for me to just ask you to scoot, hey, would you scoot back a little? So those are the things we're wanting to look for all the time. And now she gets over and she goes, oh, okay, it's all good. Cliff, one of the things we talked about before we even started this deal today, this particular deal, is I said, I don't think we'll have much time to ride her.
Yeah.
I'm feeling like I got way more ride in her than I thought I did.
Yeah, she's ready.
I'm gonna let her walk around a little bit more. Has anybody got questions, comments?
It doesn't have to be about this.
It doesn't have to be about this. I know a lot about European rock bands, like whatever anybody's into.
I mean, in general, putting all of y'all on one rope on one side. I've seen all different kinds. You put up snaffle digging. Why do you do it this way?
Okay, the reason I do it this way, and the reason we're doing it this way today, with me being the rider, is because I know Cliff does it this way, and this is his project, not my project. I'm not the world's biggest fan of riding them in a halter.
Yeah. I do it like one ride, 1, 2, maybe.
2, yeah, a handful.
Yep.
When you get off.
And the idea that if and when I do it, and the idea behind everybody else doing it, is that I can't cause very much damage if she grabs, and I've been starting Colts for years and years and decades. If she grabs, I guarantee you, I'm gonna grab back. So if she grabs, I'm gonna pull on her. I can't do very much damage with this.
I like it because it keeps me honest.
Well, and
Keeps
then
me from getting too busy or anything like that. I have to think about and plan.
There's just
out what
not
I'm gonna
much I can do.
Yep.
And so I've
Makes me a little
got to use my
vulnerable.
seat, I've got to use my feet, I've got to think about what I'm doing. So that's the whole idea behind starting one halter. And I'll switch to the other side here in just a second. And I do it way different than everybody else. And I'll even explain why when we get to it. I think it's about time. Why we start them in halter.
Or with one rein.
With one rein, rather than 2 reins. If I've got 2, I've got more stuff I can pull on. Ooh, there you go, baby. So we're gonna switch reins. What everybody else in the whole wide world does is throw it over the top of their head. Now to me, there's no even reason for it, but it's just terrifying to me to throw it over their head.
I agree.
So I go under their neck. And I got arms like a gorilla, so I can get away with it.
You want your one rein on the outside, or is that just the way you have to be doing it?
I like my one rein on the outside.
See, I like it on the inside.
Most
preference.
Most people do. It is preference. Most people like it on the inside. I like it on the outside because I was a saddle bronc rider. And so it's on the outside, I got a fence, I can lift on that. I feel real comfortable with that.
Can I ask a question?
You can ask anything you want.
So if, like, let's say, I don't know, the wind made a huge noise and you ran into a pickle and she had she got scared and took off, whether she bucked or not, but you want to bring her down to, like, let's say, like, if you have a person in the middle, like, like either pushing you or drawing that person that holds back to, like, to them. So would you just turn it towards the fence if you wanted to, like, just...
That was the rein on the inside versus the rein on that. You actually asked the back side of my answer. The rein on the inside versus the rein on the outside deal. I was saying I like it on the inside because I was a saddle bronc rider. So if something happens, I'm going to lift on it. I'm going to lift on that rein because I was trained to lift on that rein. Now, Cliff is more of a Colt rider than I am. We've both been riding Colts forever. Cliff's gonna kind of draw one around like this. He's gonna pull him around and get him quieted back down. Okay? there's where the preference is. I'm gonna do this.
I'm gonna be more out here.
He's gonna do this.
But if you have that rein on the outside, you just drop up.
Yeah, but if things get quick, the outside changes so rapidly.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter.
And you notice also I don't swap hands. I've still got this in my left hand.
Yeah.
When I want to turn, I go ahead and turn her with my right hand. Gosh dang, she's quick-footed.
Yeah.
I go ahead and turn her, but I feel comfortable holding it like this. I feel really, really uncomfortable holding it like this.
I'm so shitty on my right side. I don't like it.
What I have to do for her is to keep me comfortable. So that's why I switch my hands around. That's why I hold things the way I do. There's what I'm getting at is there's not a right or wrong answer. The right answer is me staying really comfortable so she can stay comfortable. And that's also the reason I don't do what I'm fixing to do. The reason I don't do this, one is because I'm bad at it and I whack them in the face, but two is because it scares me. And so if I scare me, I'm more likely to scare her. Does that make sense? And so I do things that keep me comfortable. And so I don't do this stuff. Did you see how nervous that made her?
Well, shoot, I saw how nervous it made you when you did it.
Yeah.
Like, I could see it.
You could see it. Yeah.
You know, I mean, you threw away all your contact for at least 2 to 3 seconds.
Exactly.
You were like, son of a gun, this is a bad idea.
Freaking terrifies me. And it
See,
terrified her.
I do it on almost every one. There's a few that I'm like, it's a bad idea, but I do it on most. But a lot of my flag work and a lot of what I do on the ground prepares them for it. So it's a non-issue for my horses.
It's part of your program.
Yeah, it's just part of it.
Being that it's not part of my program,
It's just a built-in thing
I just
don't think about.
have it in there. I'm going to tie this a little differently.
I have an unrelated question.
Yes, sir.
Is this the only flag you use, or do you have different?
It's the one I like. It's light enough it doesn't wear out my arm. I have some that are a little heavier and this and that, but like when you use it all day long, every day, I like this. But like a lot of times I won't even use a flag. I'll use the tail of my lead rope, or just just depends on the situation or how much what I need. Remind me to show you a cool knot for that, tying that.
Oh, shoot. I was a Boy Scout.
I got a cool one.
Hey, that's back when Boy Scouts were boys.
I'm not pretty that old.
I am that old. Well, okay. Fair enough. See how I get her to look at me before I get on?
You also get on slow and you balanced. You're not just slapping her on the back.
Right. And I could. She'd allow me to.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can move without tap. She says no. Hey, that's it. That's
Licking
good
the
enough.
cheek.
Oh, she says, I'm so proud of myself. There we go.
Neat mare.
She is. We're gonna trot around a little bit here. That's why I use a halter. Because she grabbed, I grabbed.
You guys watch how big this mare steps up. Every time she goes to trot off, she lifts her shoulders, she elevates her front end. This mare's got a lot of suspension, a lot of lift.
Coming to the inside.
Do you think some of that is what scares a lot of people in the English world? Is
Yeah.
that impulsion?
We have horses that are being bred now that are far beyond what most people can ride, talent-wise. Especially on the hunter jumper dressage side of
Don't fall
things.
on me. So Ricky, you said you think that's what scares a lot of people. Shoot, it scares me. you know?
That going should.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a horse with a lot of power.
a lot.
Like, recognize, those horses are tremendously powerful. And their ability to leave the ground and use themselves is pretty phenomenal.
You know, it's funny too. I think I don't get real worried about myself. Like, I've been bucked off. I know how to get bucked off. I rode bucking horses and bulls and everything else. But like, look at that.
Pretty well.
But I worry, like, if I do something dumb and we get into a storm, how's it going to damage that horse?
Okay, we're out of horse. We're out of horse, but what I do need to do is,
Whoa.
a mule just jumped over something. Okay. So we're out of horse. We're at a good time to quit.
Yep.
We were having fun talking. But what just happened there is that I asked her off and she kind of refused me. And so that's why I told Cliff, I said, you know, back off. But now I'm going to just ask a little more and just show her I can ask you off. So that's why I hang my hobbles where I hang them.
Oh, little mini court. There you go.
That's all I needed. Good enough. I usually try for this. Cliff, what do you think about backing up? I usually try for it the first ride.
Yeah.
I don't always get it the first
If
ride.
I don't get it, I don't make a big deal of it.
I don't make a big deal, but I get it the first week. So I'm gonna ask her back. If I even get her thinking about going backwards, I'm gonna call it a backup. I push that a little farther than I normally would. Normally, well, I was saying if I even get her to think about going backwards, I'll call it a win, and I'll say, yeah, I got to back up. I picked my hands up, and she gave in her face. I knew I could get it with her. I pushed it so everybody could see it. There's a lot of them. If I just get that face,
Yeah.
I call that backing up.
And to me, this is a good argument for long lining horse. This horse, they've long lined her, Lindsay long lined her some,
Yeah.
and has had her back up in the line. So she's got the concept of it.
And that was so soft.
And
there.
she's got a little bit of face on her. And
Yep. Oh, she's got a lot of face on her.
she did a good job there.
She did a great job. And then I also, what did you say? I'm not superstitious, but I'm
I'm
kind
a
of
little
stitious.
stitious.
A little stitious. I am superstitious, so I do things in threes.
Yeah.
So I get 3. If I can get a backup at all, I get 3 steps.
Give me 3 steps. Give me 3 steps, master.
Same thing with my kid.
I want to thank the subscribers of our Patreon channel. The patrons, that's Patron where I'm from, give us the opportunity to bring these videos to you all. Without them, this channel wouldn't be possible. Join us over on Patreon for more in-depth lessons and step-by-step instruction on everything from gear to theory, riding everything from colts to bridle horses, the circus pole, and husbandry. We'd love to see you all over there.